Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Peaceful Trey here. I want to record a honest video. I really want this channel to be about transparency and honesty. My goal for this channel is to be encouraging and inspiring, but also the reality of being a channel about kind of just helping and guiding and speaking to my audiences. I have my problems too, and I have my days as well. And today's kind of one of those days where it's not a terrible day, it's just more of a down day, I would say. And I don't want to, I guess, I don't want this video to come across as a self-pity video. I also don't want this video to be about feeling sorry for myself, which is the same thing as self-pity. And I don't want this channel to be a negative channel. I want this to be a positive and encouraging channel. And that's actually why I want to make videos like this, where I talk with my raw emotions and with my honest emotions and where I'm at in life. And I don't want to make all the videos on this channel about myself, but I do think it's important for me as a somebody that's trying to encourage people here online to show you my flaws as well. If I just sat on here and I just showed you all the good things, or if I just gave you scripted talks that were positive, maybe that would do some good. But I think also too, with anybody that is trying to motivate people or trying to lead people in a certain direction, I think it's good to be vulnerable with your audience as well. Currently, I am in a position where I haven't been working in a while, and I don't really have many friends, and we've been a very alone season. And I am definitely learning that the only thing that is really going to keep me afloat in this world is the Lord. That is the only thing that's going to keep me afloat in this world, because that's really the reason that I wake up every day. It really is. It's the thing that keeps me going and the thing that created me in the first place, and that will one day take me away from this planet as well as the Lord. And Earth, being here in the world, being here in the flesh, being here on Earth, it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult sometimes. And I do not have anything terrible going on in my life right now whatsoever. So that's another reason I don't want to make this like a self-pity video, because really nothing terrible is going on in my life. I actually have everything that I need to live a healthy and comfortable life. So I'm blessed. And that's something that I want to acknowledge as well, is even in these depressing seasons, even in these seasons where you might feel down a lot, there is always good things to look at. There is always good things to look at. And I think a lot of people can relate to this, and this might not go for everybody, but personally, I have struggled with mental health my entire life. I have struggled with it. I have struggled with self-worth my entire life. It has been difficult for me to find worth in myself at certain periods of time. And that is the biggest blessing of becoming a Christian and like truly believing and knowing that Jesus Christ is real and that he's our God, is having somebody that you can rely on 24/7 and go to 24/7. That is not yourself, that is not a partner, that is not a parent, that is not a friend. It is such a blessing, because there's been so many times in my life where I have had trouble motivating myself to do anything at all. So much struggle to motivate myself to do anything. And I have tried to self-motivate myself before, and that can work for spurts, but really in the end, you're going to eventually like not be able to self-motivate yourself very much. At least with me. At least with me. I know there's some people, they are super extremely self-motivated, but that can run into some problems too if you're just like on that red pill grind set and that's all you do is just work 100 hours a week and try to make money, and next thing you know, 20 years later, you haven't enjoyed any of your life whatsoever. But I'm not like that, so I can't even speak for that. But for me personally, I've struggled a lot with self-worth, self-motivation. It is something that is just so difficult for me to do at times, is to self-motivate myself. And then too, when you try to motivate yourself for other people, whether it's in a relationship or like family or friends, but I would say relationships, the biggest one for me, even that is like extremely temporary. I mean, there's been many times where I've been very motivated to do things for women especially, and I've wanted to you know, give them gifts, give them love, give them care, whatever it may be. But it's like you can lose those people. Those people can leave your life right then and there. And really, the only time you should really invest that much energy into a woman is when it is your wife, or when it's your daughter or your mother, or if, you know, if one of your girlfriends is in need of help. But like, really, at the end of the day, women or men, depending on if you're a male or female watching this, they're not going to bring you fulfillment 24/7. They're not going to bring you motivation 24/7. Obviously, it's very beneficial to have an amazing wife, and it's very beneficial to have an amazing husband, and those are blessings, but they are not going to be a 24/7 thing to keep you going all the time. It's just not the reality. It really isn't the reality of the world that we live in. And that goes for everything. That goes for absolutely everything in this world. This world is hard. It is so difficult to live in this world. And like I said, I am very blessed. I am a very blessed individual. I don't want to make this channel about self-pity, because I have nothing to feel sorry for myself about. I have problems just like everybody else does. You all have problems out there. Some of you are going through things that are much, much, much deeper and much more difficult than I am going through. So, but I just want to be transparent about where I'm at and what I've dealt with my whole entire life. It gets easier for me as the years go on to deal with my emotions, especially as I grow in my relationship with Christ. But it's just hard. It is so hard to wake up and be in a world where it just feels like no matter what you do, you're not going to find fulfillment. It doesn't matter what you do here, really. It does and it doesn't. It does and it doesn't. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, because it does. You know, I don't want to be self-deprecating, like, oh, nothing matters, just lay around and rot. Like, no, don't do that. But I guess what really doesn't matter is just self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment does not get you anywhere in this world. It doesn't. Self-pleasure, self-fulfillment, it just is not, it's not the way. It's not the way at all. And I'm not even just speaking as a Christian. Like, that's where I learned this from, and that's where I'm growing from. This is from Christ, and I'm not where I need to be in my journey yet at all. But just living for yourself, living the selfish lifestyle, it is so unfulfilling. So unfulfilling. And I think that's the biggest thing that I can take away from this year, is learning that what really matters is loving God and loving the people around you. Because if I have a talent, or if I have a hobby or a career that takes off, it's like, those are good things and those are cool things and those are blessings, but those things are not living, breathing, talking, walking, valuable things. You know, I have artwork here, and like, it's cool to make artwork, and I don't do it that often. It's just kind of a hobby that I've had. But since, you know, it's something that I do every once in a while, and it's like, it's great, but these pictures do not talk. They do not talk, they do not walk, they're not living. So it's like a nice hobby, but it doesn't bring fulfillment. At least not like, I shouldn't say it doesn't bring fulfillment at all, but I would say the most fulfilling thing that you can do is serving other people. I shouldn't say it doesn't bring fulfillment at all, because hobbies do bring fulfillment, and there's nothing wrong with having hobbies. It's just, the most fulfilling thing on this planet is serving other people. And I'm at a stage right now where I gotta get out of the house. I gotta get out of the house. I gotta serve people. I gotta add that to my life, that value to my life, because right now I don't feel like I'm serving anybody. If I am serving anybody, it's myself, and it doesn't bring me any pleasure. And if it does, it's very temporary pleasure. And it's a sad way to live. It's a sad way to live. And I think that's the reason I've always desired getting married so much, is because it would be such a beautiful starting block to a selfless life. Because if I've learned anything from Jesus this year, marriage is something that is not about yourself. If you go into marriage with a very selfish attitude, it is not going to be a good marriage. Whether it be for you or your partner, or both of you, it is going to hurt somebody if one of you are selfish. Especially if you're like extremely selfish. You know, we all have our quirks and our cons, and none of us are perfect, so there is that. But that's the mindset that I have to remove myself from before being married. Because really, that is what it is to be married, is serving another person. That is what marriage is about, is serving another person. And when both the husband and the wife are serving each other, it's beautiful. And ministering to the children and serving the children, it's beautiful. And that's what I'm growing on right now. And it is difficult. It is so difficult to change. It is so difficult to change. It is hard. And I feel guilty and shameful for a lot of my actions in life. I haven't done anything horrible, I would say. I've done a lot of bad stuff, but nothing that I can't live with, and nothing that was too bad. But the person that I have hurt the most is definitely myself. Definitely have hurt myself the most. And I also lived a life that was very self-indulgent, very self-centered, and I had a good heart for other people, I would say, but my heart was just like pounded and broken so much by this world that by the time I actually got into a relationship, my heart was so hardened, and I had given into so much sin. I had given into so much self-indulgence and I lived like such a selfish lifestyle, and I also didn't have any self-worth, which is kind of the irony of the whole thing. I lived very selfishly, but I had no self-worth. So like, I'm only living for myself, but then I also don't have any worth in myself. And that's actually the beautiful thing about living a selfless life, is like when you live selflessly, you at least can like tell yourself that like, even if you're having a terrible day and an awful day, it's like, well, at least I made somebody smile today. At least I made somebody's day. At least I helped somebody out today. And it kind of like actually brings up your self-worth when you're actually contributing and helping other people. But when you're just helping yourself and you're just living a selfish lifestyle, it's like it doesn't do anything long term. It doesn't at all. It eventually bites you in the butt. It really does. And if you do love that lifestyle and you do live that type of lifestyle, like, you're probably hurting a lot of people along the way. I know I've hurt people along the way living that lifestyle, and I am ashamed of it. I'm disappointed in it, but all I can do is move forward. That's all I can do. That's all we can do, is move forward, and we can learn from the past, and we can learn from our past mistakes, but really just moving forward and living and breathing. Now I want to turn this away from myself, and because the goal of this channel is to motivate other people. You know, this is not a sob story channel. Pursue Christ. Pursue Christ. Become anew through Him. Pursue a selfless lifestyle, because self-pleasure is not worth it. It is not worth it. Speaking from experience, self-pleasure is not worth it. It is not. You have so much more value and so much more to give on this planet here. We all do. And when we live like Christ, when we walk like Christ, we add value to our lives, and we add value to our community. And I pray for myself and everybody else out there that we grow in our walk with the Lord. I love all of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And I'm glad that I had this raw video format here today. God bless everybody. Amen.